Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome everybody to my weekday stream here on Monday. It is my habit to do casual blitz and rapid challenges with challengers here on lichess. In Europe, we were doing Mondays in the mornings, but we're going to try to do one or two streams from the United States over the course of the summer when I'm streaming here in the midday. So that is one of those occasions today. We're going to be here for about 2 hours playing blitz and rapid chess against anyone who wants to challenge me, so long as you have an established account here on lichess, and it's a casual challenge between 5+3 and 7+3. Now, I started a little bit early. I announced my stream yesterday would start at 12:30, but I had to push it up a little bit. So we're going to be starting a little bit earlier and finishing a little bit earlier today. So I'm going to go to the, check if the stream is running smoothly here. I'm going to go to the play tab and try to find some victims in the lobby. Go to the lobby and find some victims. Create a game, play with a friend, lobby. Okay, I don't like using Firefox. There it is. Our stream just popped up with the title of Monday 12:30 though. I tried to change that title and it didn't stick. That's weird. Okay. Why is it not letting me change the title? Done. Please change my title. See if I can refresh it. Let's see if we can refresh it. It doesn't want to change the title for some reason. It's not cooperating, but it's alright. It's a minor problem. So we have anyone that meets our criteria for playing casual game. Juan Selby for Chess 960, 5+3. That would be interesting. He doesn't have any real games. Yevgeny Ivanov, 5-0. I'd rather get an increment game. 5-3 casual against Khalid. Let's grab that. Grab it. Come here. 1900. Khalid. All right. It's casual. It's 5+3. It fits our rating and, well, not rating, but time criterion. All right. Let's see what Khalid has got. Actually, I didn't check to see if he has an established account. I think I did briefly. Yeah, he's got some games. Okay. So, DJ Khalid. Knight F6. Does Khalid know we're streaming? Probably not. Juicebox Wizard. Oi, we started early. Bang, G6. The surprise move. No one knows I play this. Only one player from Southeast Asia. Certain Indonesian international master faced. So if knight takes d4, he has bishop takes f6. That's kind of irritating. Actually, that wins a pawn for me. Let's try it this way. Sort of like he wasted a tempo. Well, you said that exactly like the Vietnamese do. What? Which thing? I just thought it was funny that you showed up, and my only game against someone was a Southeast Asian juicebox. My only game in this variation, but I guess normally people play like bishop takes f6. It's funny, he tried to play queen d2. It's like he's losing a tempo. I used the right tone. For what? For oi? Jim, we started early. Guys, thank you for being subscribers. I had to start early because I have to go and do some errands, some business errands. Wow, h4, very aggressive from DJ Khalid. He thinks it's like the... Apparently he thinks it's the Yugoslav attack here. Alright. No discoveries yet, but there will be. Guys, we're taking challenges 5+3 through 7+3. You know the drill. I'm going to be here for 2 hours. I had to start a little early so I can finish a little early and get to the... Get to town and do some business. By the way, big news, guys. My second career is officially underway. I listed my first eBay item for sale. That's right. I warned you guys that I was going to go into flea market type of stuff, and first eBay item is on sale. You never guess what it is. I just experimentally threw something out there. It's a Napster baseball hat. Napster baseball hat. Very rare. And you can buy it. You can bid on it, and you can buy it for $12 online. I wanted to ask more, but I thought I'd start. I thought I'd start modestly. It probably won't sell. It's too random. But we'll see. I just want to start listing some items and see if anything happens. All right. Anyways, Queen D2. He's kind of threatening Bishop H6 and attacking me, so I wonder if I should take time out to play H5, or if it's just weakening my king side. Right, I mean, that's why it's significant, because Napster, it's like an original Napster hat from like 1995, when it first came out. I'd buy it just to give a hand. I'll pay another $50 in taxes. What was the other one? Has a ladybug-like logo? This is like a cat. I don't know. It has a cat logo with like a headset on it. I wanted to ask like $40 for it, but no one's ever going to pay that on eBay. So, what are we doing here? Queen B6 is an interesting move. Kind of a cheapo. Let's play for cheapos. Anyway, I'm just trying to think, I think in the first week or two, I'm going to just pick out some random items that could sell and see if they actually sell. I have like no seller reputation on eBay. I think a lot of people probably cheat. They get their friends to like buy the first couple items from them to just like increase their seller rep or whatever. Yeah, I mean, Napster was famous, and I know the dude's uncle. Like that's how I got the hat. The cheapo worked very successfully here. The actual uncle of the Napster creator was a friend of mine, and so he personally gave me this hat. So it has a very important backstory to it. So the Napster hat for $12. The bidding starts at $12 for an original Napster hat. It's in good condition. It's never really been worn, but it is 20 years old. So, it's kind of been sitting around for 20 years in the closet. It's not in perfect condition, but it's basically not worn. That was a good warm-up game. Okay, guys. Save a dog, big money, Blobix. So we'll see if I can do better with eBay, selling random eBay items, or being a chess player. Save a dog, big money, Blobix. This was from 1995, this Napster hat. So it's actually 24 years old. It's hard to believe. Half a lifetime ago. I'd give it for $30 at least. All right. But I don't want any charity. I want to see if it actually sells of its own accord. I want to feel like I actually sold something. Okay, Save a Dog, Big Money, and Blobix. We're taking subscriber challenges first. And all these guys are subscribers. So. But you can just donate $30 to the stream. It's a little retro. It's just a baseball hat, but it's never really been worn. I never used it. And it's kind of a decent quality. It has an adjustable strap. But it's just for the Napster thing is kind of rare, I should put a higher price. Probably I should. I think that people probably, it's very likely there's like rip-off ones that people sell. And this was like an original. So the next item that I'm going to be putting up for bidding, I'm just kidding. Does anybody want to buy a commemorative MASH the TV series plate? This is a very important item. I actually won't sell this on eBay because it's literally like the lamest thing ever. The MASH plate, if you go on eBay, you find like 20 of them. They're just like sitting there gathering dust in in the pages of eBay. Like nobody wants to buy a MASH television show commemorative plate, literally. I might as well just like give it away to the local charity donation center. Panda's looking spiffy. Panda's good. You know, I was thinking of donating. That's not the real Panda, by the way. This is Macro Panda. Macro Panda's a little scared because a lot of plushies are going on the auction block soon. So Macro Panda got a little bit worried, it looked like. He saw the other plushies basically getting stuffed into plastic bags. And I think he's been a little alarmed. Yeah. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at, guys. My dad used to say that you can sell... What was his saying again? He had a dad joke saying about selling horse shit. People would buy anything, basically. That's the basis of the theme. Anyway, guys, I'm just shooting the breeze here about the start of my eBay selling career. People are selling Napster hats for $300 on eBay. What? I didn't see anything like that. What kind of hats? Like simple baseball hats? JBW found it. I didn't see any hats going for like $300. Okay, but I didn't look that hard. If you really see like $300, I mean, what are they? There can't be that many of them. Ones with unique... Maybe I should stop it. Stop the auction or something. There's a lot. They're probably all like rip-offs made in Vietnam or something. Knight takes d5, bishop takes f2 check. Hey, Clash Kid, what's up? Now you scared me, Juicebox Wizard. I saw some and like eBay recommended that I auction it for like less than $20. Clash Kid subscribed to tier 1. Subscribe for 22 months. I hope I don't get desperate and have to start auctioning my chess books. Collectible Napster black hat, like new. US $399.99, approximately euros 358.4. Dude, are you serious? I must be crazy. Remember to take down my auction. You can't find my listing. $12. I feel like an idiot. Condition used. The stream is Americano again. Wow, I have like bishop takes f6 here. Queen f6 and knight takes b7, but looks kind of dangerous actually. The stream has been, yeah. Clash Kid, you weren't here for one of the streams since I moved back? I thought you were. I'm giving up streaming to become an eBay salesman. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding for now. The $400 hat looks worn out though. Well, I mean, the question isn't its condition, right? It's like a rare hat. You guys have scared me. I thought I'm an idiot. I'm asking, like at first I was gonna put $20. Then I like cut it down to 12. Well, yeah, I mean condition obviously matters, but it's a question of how much for a Napster hat. I just randomly chose an item to auction first. And now Jim and Juicebox are making me think that it's worth hundreds of dollars. But it's kind of hard to authenticate something like that, you know? How do you know it was like actually an original thing or someone didn't print it out in Southeast Asia? You think put a story up with it? It was actually given to me by the uncle of the creator of Napster. Does that sound like really a story? It gives it a little bit of personalization. I don't know if anyone will actually buy it. I mean, people can ask for anything. Take a photo of the manufacturer tag. I'm going to start eBay streaming. Just streaming and talking about eBay instead of chess. It's just like no different from, what is it they do? Like just chatting. Just auctioning. Live streaming, auctioning. Save a dog. All right. I'm trying to concentrate a little on chess here. I got excited though. It's my first eBay listing. I have like a million things I could sell, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but we'll see. This is more than a cheapo. I'm centralizing my knight. No, I appreciate your feedback, guys. So we're playing some chess here, besides just beginning my career as an eBay auctioneer. Playing some chess, guys. Challenges between 5+3 and 7+3. I want to thank everybody for supporting the stream last week. Today's just a 2-hour stream. Now maybe I should throw in rook takes c8 at some point, because he has like bishop takes e5, rook c1, knight g4 with a double attack. It's kind of complicated though. I have some neat ideas here. We had a good simul yesterday. Good to see Clash Kid though. That's why I'm doing this, Clash Kid, to give the people in Europe a couple days. I mean, when at least you guys can watch the stream without staying up super late. So Mondays and Fridays, I'm definitely going to try to stream at this time, which is like approachable. Mondays and Fridays. And there's even a chance, I have to check my schedule, but there's even a chance I could occasionally throw in like a Wednesday. We can also mix up the Wednesday event and maybe do like a midweek simul, which I've done in the past once or twice. You got crushed again. You did not get crushed. You whittled away a drawn endgame at the end. So that's not true. Don't listen to Jim. He's telling fibs. Certainly wasn't crushed. Yeah, actually, His Nunes donated $7. And he sent me a message that he literally fell asleep during the game. Which is funny. He fell asleep during the simul game. That's why he like lost, or I don't know if he resigned or he lost on time. Do you guys see that? So it reminded me of the time that I got really drunk during the Poker Stars like weekly like $500 tournament while I was playing, and it was like late. That tournament had a late entry, so I think it started like around 10 p.m. or 9, maybe. But it was a big field, and I didn't play it that much. But this one time I played, I was drinking, and I got so drunk that I passed out at the computer, like in the middle of the tournament. And I woke up and I was like blinded out or something. And I was doing all right like up until that point. But it's pretty stupid, you know. It's pretty stupid to pick like a $500 buy-in to get drunk and pass out. I like kind of blacked out through the end of the tournament. I didn't even remember like a lot of the hands that I played and stuff, but I was doing all right. Spectacular Camel made it to a stream. Again, I'll repeat what I said. That's why I'm doing it. For you guys. It's for you guys. Playing poker drunk is not a good idea. That's true. Yeah, I don't know why it was this one period where I was kind of crazy. I guess I was just like lonely and bored at this tournament, and there was nothing to do. I was at a chess tournament when I did it, and there was nothing to do in between games, and I just got bored, and I started drinking with a friend, and I was like, why don't I play in the 500 like on PokerStars? You can watch. So this Norwegian chess player was hanging out with me, and we just were drinking a lot, and I got carried away, and the tournament lasted really long, so I wasn't that drunk when I started, but we just continued and continued, and it was a stupid idea. All right, anyways. It would have been all right if it was like a $50 buy-in, but kind of stupid to pass out during a $500 buy-in. It's basically one of the larger tournaments on PokerStars every week, or it used to be anyway, back in the days. But anyways, it just reminded me of that because his influence played in my simul yesterday. He didn't get drunk; he just passed out because he was so tired. So we're on the topic of basically the stream time and how difficult it is for the European players to watch the stream necessarily. You know, if it's at 11 or 12 at night, basically. I'm sure there's a lot of poker players who always play drunk, but then again, there's chess players like Tal could play Blitz really well when he was drunk. I mean, if you're so good at something, it becomes basically like second nature. Tal, like, I think I've never heard anybody scientifically investigate this, but I have the feeling that we have a kind of subconscious calculation. There's a certain amount of subconscious calculation. I mean, positional players can play a really good game with almost no calculation based on intuition. But if you think about like how good Tal was at Blitz and how well he played despite being drunk, famously, it almost makes you wonder, is it not that we have subconscious sort of a certain subconscious level of calculation? I'm very curious about that. You know, if that really exists, possibly. So now, just a theory of mine. Yeah, Alyakin was a famous drunk too. Normally I don't play poker and chess when I'm drunk, but I mean there have been those occasions when you don't plan on it happening, but it just happened. All right. Yeah, Alyakin famously lost. I mean, well, like one of his biggest excuses for losing the world championship, I guess, to Uva, who was a weaker. You know, he was strong, but he wasn't as strong as Alyakin. Obviously, was that he was drinking pretty heavily, I guess, in that period. But you know, I just wonder if we actually calculate subconsciously. That's my question, and maybe it would take like a really good chess player / psychologist to scientifically investigate if that's even possible. Can we actually calculate? It's almost like calculating in hypnosis or something. You slept in Alyakin's bed in Normandy. That's interesting. That's a good Halloween stream idea. I wanted to like summon. I've got some. Actually, I found some tarot cards, but that's another auction item. You don't calculate consciously even. You see, you don't think you do, but really you do. Interesting question. Heading to c4. Save a dog, very, very tough. Trying to make these bishops stronger than knights. Gladys Troll is here. I didn't realize it was you. Right. Well, Gladys Troll is a perfect example of a kind of intuitive player. But you know when you're about to make a move and this little voice inside your head like says, wait a minute. And you don't even calculate, but you just sense something's wrong and you catch yourself from making a blunder in the last possible moment. I have this theory that that's connected. Man, save a dog is tough. Another political protest. Oh, you guys have a big deal. Sorry, there.
I'm not sure about that.
I said another political protest. What does that have to do with you? All right. Sorry to be so grumpy. I just can't stand when she interrupts me like that. She, he, it. Give me that. So you had queen f7 there. Save a dog. You could save your dog with that move. Machines are taking over, no doubt. That is a strong passed pawn. Black secretly seeking counterplay. So he did get his rook to a fairly active position here, but now he's toast. That was pretty obvious. I mean, it's not an easy position to defend, but it looks like it was possible to put up a lot more resistance. All right. The Russians have hacked my ALEXA. We can't say its name because it gets all crazy. It's like having a little child. ALEXA. Can't say it. Haven't seen Duda versus So in the Moscow Grand Prix. Nope. You've got protests and I've got these guys mowing the lawns every day. That's a little more serious though. Big Money's up next. Thanks, guys, for the challenges. Big Money, Blobix, taking challengers who are subscribers to the stream first. You could also cheer now to be #1. We had a lot of generous donations last week. Yeah, I know there's a protest against the government there in Austria. All right. I'm out of Hungary, though, Clash Kid. I won't be going back till after the summer, probably. Political turmoil the world over. This story was told to me by the house watchman's son. Alyakin was so drunk he was playing dodgeball with his wife with real guns and bullets. Dodgeball. Oh my god. That's an interesting form of dodgeball. So, the Moscow Grand Prix. No, I haven't really been in touch with reality this week, chess-wise. I'm too overloaded with personal responsibilities with my mother's house. Basically, I have to sell all of her stuff. Sell, throw away, or donate are the three options. Or keep it somehow. Norway chess starts soon as well. Yeah, I mean, now it's almost summer, so there will start to be a lot of events again. There was a really long period there where there was almost nothing serious in the chess world. So I think we start to get a lot of good stuff now. So Big Money with G6. Actually, I play this with Black. So I don't know if Big Money has ever looked at any of my games while I was streaming, but this variation has come up a lot. And actually, it's a Panov Caro-Kann. And I did lose to Camel Culture with the white bits a couple months ago in a game. And for some reason, I always play like Bishop C4. It's sort of like a routine habit of mine. It'll be good to see Norway chess. So seems kind of not the same lately, doesn't he? I mean, Wesley So. He seemed like he was going to be one of the world's top 5 consistently, but I have a gut instinct that it's not necessarily chess related. But if you think about Wesley So, he was from the Philippines, and he was kind of uprooted and moved to the United States. And I think there's been some stories about people trying to kind of control him, and I would imagine that that's an awkward spot to be in when you're young and you're, easily influenced, and you're moved across the world to a new place, and there's people trying to use you and control you and get to your money, and I don't know, it has to be awkward for So. I'm sure his life is trickier than some of the other players, With Magnus Carlsen, everything is pretty straightforward. Hikaru and Caruana seem to have more stable sort of personal lives, but I think for So it might be more complicated. I would just guess, this is just totally, unscientific reasoning, but I would think that, maybe he has more personal problems than the other guys. He was in America for a long time. He's been there for quite a while. Didn't he visit the Judith Polidar School? He's been there for quite a while, Clash Kid. I mean, he's been there for quite a while, for several years now. But when you get older, I mean, you're still young. When you get older, you'll realize that a couple of years is really a short period of time. That's the trick. So it's all relative, Clash Kid. Yeah, I mean, he's been here for a few years, but that's still, in the grand scheme of things, a short amount of time. And I would imagine that it takes a lot of getting used to, to go to a totally new place like that. But I think the other thing is sharks trying to use you. Famous people tend to have people that try to kind of prey on them and stuff. Fuchsia, what's up? Jim? If you win the World Series of Poker, all of a sudden, you have 1 million Facebook friends. Or maybe 4 million if you won $4 million. You have a new Facebook friend for every dollar that you won in the World Series of Poker or something. I'm sure it's interesting. But anyways, just hypothesizing. What's up, Fuchsia? Now, I'm just trying to explain away why So's results haven't been quite the same. More or less. With my house and valuable items, I don't have too many valuable items. We already have sharks. People scammed my poor mom out of a lot of money just cutting down trees that didn't need to be cut down. Yeah, sharks are everywhere. We have real sharks here, Blooby. Someone was killed last year at the beach. Really, at a beach where I've been to. Great white shark. Actually, I went swimming there a couple years ago. There's actual seals in the water, just a few meters away from me. There have been a number of shark attacks here, very, very close to where I live. But I don't go to that beach very often on the ocean side where the great whites are. I'll try to be careful. Speaking of sharks, we have literal sharks and figurative sharks. Bishop to b5 check. I thought, oh, it's so nice swimming with those nice little seals over there. Megalodon. My son would love that, man. He's really into megalodons. They have that, there's some really cheesy series about, what is it? Sharknado or something? Your grandma buys knives, kettles, pans, blankets for ridiculous monies. Yeah, that's what my mom did. She started collecting random stuff. I think it's a nesting instinct or something that people get when they get old. They just start collecting stuff. It's really weird. Right, right. Now my mom started doing that long ago, and it's not like a new thing. We ended up with all this stuff, and I have no idea what to do with it all. It's just ridiculous. All right, so IQP position, classic. A little bit like my game with Fuchsia yesterday. Fuchsia, I'm ready for Rook D1, Bishop back to C1. I know you like that maneuver a lot. So if anyone's in the market for some artificial flowers or vases, I'll be going to a consignment store very soon to market some of that. Megalodons only attack major accounts. Well, it's like, I was happy that my Bitcoin went up. We're all over the place today. There was a Megalodon attack at Bitcoin last week. Bitcoin dropped like from 8,000 down to 7,000 in one day. Because basically a Megalodon came along and sold off all their Bitcoins. My extremely passive play killed you in the end. Megalodon tooths sell well on eBay. Oh. Well, speaking of that, recently there was a scandal about some kind of dinosaur bone that was on display in a museum, and the owner turned around and opened it at like an auction on eBay for like $1 million, and I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, baby. I was joking about this. It was a baby Tyrannosaurus, very rare, like baby Tyrannosaurus skeleton, and they freaked out because it was like considered bad form for him to try to auction this like museum piece on eBay. My extremely passive play killed Fuchsia. Yeah. I have the feeling that's not what it was. It was the martinis. Are you using it anywhere? Or the Megalodon to eat with it? Shark teeth. I may have some like whale ivory somewhere, but it's that's another thing. It's tricky to sell that. The laws have become very unclear about what's called scrimshaw or whalebone ivory carvings and stuff like that. We're all over the map in terms of conversation here, guys, so feel free to just pitch in with anything. Anything but chess. Oh, you're really wondering what useful things you can actually buy with Bitcoin? Rook E8 was more accurate. Wait, Fuchsia, are you talking about our game from yesterday? Don't do that, you'll confuse me. Start talking about... No, this game. I really have no clue. My position looks pretty good, but the knight's coming to c4 sometimes. That queen looks strange there, doesn't it? Maybe I should just play d6, huh? Passed pawn. Pawn. Passed pawn. Running out of time. The whole dark net. It's a good place to hang out. Never been there, but sounds safe. I'm gonna hold on to my bitcoins, I guess. Wait for another jump or two. I have terrible luck. I'll probably like sell it in the worst possible moment. I bought real estate like right before the big crash of the market. I'm an absolute genius. So do we have Queen e8. No, not quite. Well, this looks good. What am I doing? H3. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop. We're going to lose on time. He found a square. My God, I'm going to lose on time, dude. He's trying to actively flag me here. Black resigned? Oh, it's just hanging. I wanted to play rook d8 so bad I didn't even see it was hanging. Rook d8, knight d8, pawn d8. I think that's good too. You have no way to protect e8, right? Pawn to e8. Alright, Blowbix. Guys, we'll play as many games as I can against subscribers first. Blowbix, Airborne Warrior. Airborne Warrior, are you a sub? Clash Kid is a sub. Blowbix. By the way, Jim, thanks for donating, being the first one. Alright, let me get started. Little e4. Blowbix is underrated. Somehow I've only lost once, but he seems like a strong player. Experienced. What do you got? Some theory? Some Sveshnikov, Kalashnikov? Some stuff I don't know that well? Yeah. Did we play once? A Sveshnikov? Not an opening I'm particularly well prepared for. Gladys Troll. If you were a subscriber, you know, I would, of course, take your challenge and play you Chess 960, but you'll have to wait. I think you're just generally asking anybody. I can see that. All right. I had Queen A5 the other day against somebody. Was it you? Play the Velimirovich. Emery Tate. No, that's like the next move. Is it this position where Velimirovich played G4? Or is it after C3? I think it was here. It's just a totally anti-positional move. Funny gambit though. I saw him rotate like crush some weaker master once the G4, confusing them. Well, Bishop D3 usually the next move now. Is it now G4? Maybe that's right. But Bishop D3 is a lie. There are many lines. Unfortunately, my theoretical knowledge is very, very limited. You have to go to the groceries and use your debit card. We're having this discussion yesterday about how Europeans say debit card. Let's reignite that fiery conversation. Knight C2. Okay, guys, we've got 4 challenges. I'm streaming till about 2:15, so we've got... Was Airborne Warrior a subscriber? I know he's donated to support the stream. I'd like to accept his challenge. AP87 is not a subscriber. Dimitrilos is not a subscriber, but I know these guys. Alright, Bishop E2. Question is, do I want to play knight E3 really quickly? Because it could backfire if black plays F5, F4. You might want to like delay that move a bit. Waiting. Please wait. Get out of there. Castles and King H1 quick here. I wonder if black has like Queen G5 or something crazy. That looks very artificial. I have had almost no Sveshnikovs. I've only played E4 in like 3% of my games with white in tournaments. Maybe slightly higher. Okay. I've probably played E4. Oh no. Hello? Hello? Yes, robocall. You already called me earlier. That's James from Wife Insurance Care. I don't know if he said life or wife. Either way, it sounds like the same robocall that I had an hour ago. I forgot to turn my phone off, but sometimes I actually get real calls. That's the thing. Once in a while, I actually get a real call. And the cool thing in Hungary is, I don't know if you've the same in your European countries, because a lot of you guys here are from Europe, but it seems like the Hungarian numbers don't get as much robocalls and junk calls as in the United States. It's like an epidemic. It's absolutely out of control. 90% of my phone calls are either robocalls or, you know, it's just like, I'm normally in Hungary, but I'm in the United States now. But I'm a year-round resident of Hungary. But the difference is unbelievable. Like, you don't get totally random, you know, calls all the time. Like sometimes, maybe, but it's not common. Is it just in the United States that it's so out of control? You have citizenship there? Need to visit? I probably could have citizenship in Hungary, but we'll see what happens in the next presidential election. I think I might have to make a choice or something. Okay, but anyway, don't want to get too political. Bishop E6, castles, we're out of here. Now black can play F5, but we'll meet it with the blockading F4. We're just in time for King H1. I want to get the king like safe off the dark squares. Rook C8, kind of an unusual move, I think. Typically, he may be aiming for Rook C5. That seems a bit weird, but maybe not stupid. Typically, though, I'd have A4 around here, wouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Have some sort of A4. I got distracted. I was thinking King H1 and kingside. And after Rook C8, that's kind of a weird move. Typically, you see like Rook B8. Or the Rook supports B4 and defends the B5 pawn. I guess he'll just take on A4 here. Try to take his chances with that. But the A6 pawn is like a dead duck. Can have dual citizenship. Fischer versus Carlsen. Never gonna happen. So you got a Ouija board. We'll never know. I'd like to think that Fischer would have a good chance, but sadly, because I like his style much better than Carlsen. Carlsen is not really, he's not really an inspiring player as much as Fischer, but he's just a product of his era. You know, he's machine-like. But I have more appreciation for Magnus than I originally did. I used to really kind of kind of not find him interesting. But he's starting to grow on me. So I'm not anti-Magnus. But I played Magnus when he was 15, and I already could see, you know, exactly what he was going to be. He's this insanely good technical player. You can't simplify him that much, but objectively he is, you know. Okay, so knight b4. It's a little weird to put the knight on b4. But I guess it's alright. If a5, knight a6, snap that pawn. Okay, so we're winning a pawn. We're not. I think we're winning a pawn. My knight looks a little awkward there, but that's fine. Oh, he has bishop b3. My bad. Alright. My bad. My bad. Counting the chickens too soon. Another surprise. I just almost don't want to answer my phone at all anymore. It's ridiculous. The landline is like, forget about it completely. The mobile, I try not to give it out, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I think they just hack into, you know, even places that aren't trying to give away your number, because people just hack the databases and stuff. It's basically impossible. Plus, the person who had my mobile number before was like an idiot and probably gave out their number to everything. Amy, you remember Clash Kid, Amy. Like, I'm still getting messages for Amy like every day. It's unbelievable. Amy must have had a lot of debts and probably dumped the phone number because of the robocalls, in fact. She had to give up this number. It was just too much. I'm close to like changing numbers. It's so frustrating though. I mean, I just got the phone like 8 months ago. I mean the number. It's ridiculous. Here, I'm gonna drop material. Indirectly fighting for the d5 square. Fischer versus Tal. I don't know what their lifetime score was. Wow, he played d5. You know what's weird about playing Bloby? He keeps surprising me almost every single move. I can't guess what he's going to do. It's like impossible to guess his next move. Next is like d4. I think my phone is ringing, ironically. I just turned the ringer down so low I can't even hear the landline anymore. It's a weird noise. Yeah. This position has gotten a little out of control. I'm trying to go like all in here. Could have predicted that. 97 check. Knight f5. That's a powerful pawn. Lobi played this really well and uncompromisingly. And that pawn itself is just so powerful, it might be unwinnable for white already. Alms on Twitch says, finally a Europe-friendly stream. Exactly, that's the idea. Mondays and Fridays. Unfortunately, I can't stay too much longer. We're going to do another hour. Alms. But if you want to challenge me, you did. Okay, you'll probably get in a game. But I think those will be the last 4. Alms, you can be challenged there. That was my whole idea. Yeah, try to mix it up, get some sort of tricky mate. Anyone? The B pawn is just devastating. How the heck am I gonna win with that pawn 2 squares away from being a queen? I'm afraid I just have to take a draw by repetition here. Unless there's some fancy, weird way to win this game. I have a draw by repetition. My rook is not in the game. I mean, I'm playing a rook down in this position. So I just have to settle for a draw, it looks like. If I take on e5, actually, he plays f6. And then there's not even a perpetual. Queen e5 check, f6, queen e7, king g8. This b pawn is very, very dangerous. So, and there's no time because of the back rank mate, you know. I just have to take a draw here. Pretty sure. There may have been a way to win, but I was scared. So let's see quickly. Did I miss something? Settle for second place. What? Second place in bits donations. 199. That's nice. You didn't want to provoke. You didn't want to provoke anyone. So apparently if I find queen d2, defending the pawn, I'm still clearly better. That's weird. Okay. I felt I shouldn't have let that pawn get down to b3. Like, I misplayed this. You missed Sophia Rogers. That was a great cheater. They used to use the opening encyclopedia like blatantly against me. I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, Gladys Troll remembers the old days. Alms on Twitch donated 190 bits. Thanks, guys. Good game, Blubix. Alright, so I'm going to take the guys who are subscribers. I'm still not sure about Airborne Warrior. We'll take the challenge. Airborne Clash Kid, misclicked. I don't know if misclicked is a subscriber, but I know him. I know all you guys. We'll take the subscribers who I'm pretty sure about. I didn't know about Airborne Warrior, but he has donated and supported the stream. I don't think he's listening or something because he wasn't answering if he's a subscriber or not. Maybe he's not. He's trying to hide it. Maybe he is. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm sorry I can't remember everybody's. Especially the people who don't talk a lot on Twitch. I can't remember their, you know, they have different names on, typically on lichess. And a lot of times people don't have the same name like me, so. This is a funny position, knight c6 and e3, and I dropped a piece in a tournament game in 1992. Bloby is in France. I've told that story a million times. We don't get the position very often. I mean, his move is much more common. Like, usually black plays either knight f6 or bishop e7. But I had one game where it was knight c6. Like a non-forcing move that doesn't block the diagonal. And I literally never had to think about it before. And I sat there and played e3, just losing a knight on g5. I don't know. Twitch doesn't cooperate when I want to see my subscriber list. Knight h3. A lot of times it doesn't work for some reason. But I don't, you know, like monitor, keep you guys under surveillance constantly, monitor my subscribers list. Paris. I very, very briefly played for a French team around 2008, 2009. But the team ended up dissolving, sadly. Alright. Maybe I should play knight f4 before it's too late here. I think this is a known idea. Playing knight g4, actually. It looks kind of weird. So the schedule is today we're finishing in about an hour. And I can also play queen d2 now, but a g3 is actually part of the plan anyway. So queen h4 looks kind of wrong. But he has one idea connected with this. Maybe, baby, to play queen h6 when I can't attack his knight with h3 because the rook's not protected. I still don't think it looks right. Black's neglecting development too much here. French Open final, wow. Joachim Durau played the same line. I lost to Joachim Durau. Will be in the New York Open. The guy was like, he was only about 2100, and it was a major upset, actually. I was paired down against this guy. He was an IM from Portugal. And this was way back in like 1999 or something. Yeah, it's funny. It's a small world, but I was paired down against Durau and just like sort of dismissed him because, you know, I thought just some random 2100 old guy. And then I lost. You know, he didn't play great, but I played badly and he played pretty well, but I basically underestimated him because I had no clue that the guy was like 2100 and an IM. That's my excuse anyway. So, Bled Candidates Fischer lost all 4 games to Tao when he was 16. Yeah. I didn't realize that he lost like 4 like that. Overall, the score right, slightly in Fischer's favor. That's about what I figured. Yeah, I think that Durau passed away not that long ago. I mean, not that long after I played him in 1999, if I remember correctly. I mean, there was no even like Grandmaster from Portugal, right? Until relatively recently. I mean, the last 20 some years. They never had a lot of high-rated players in their country. It's a smaller country, and you know, compared to a major European country, not as many players. 2015 only, okay. Thought it was further back. I decided to play the standard king f1, king g2 here, which is my default king location. But sometimes I'll walk over here to d2 or even think about castling queenside. But if he's going to play a5, then I guess he's intending to play on the queen side. I don't know. I could still try to castle queenside, but he has these sort of... Actually, who's missing today? Acerbate's missing. He must have been thrown by the schedule change. So you're going to go to the French Open, Clash Kid. That's awesome. What about Formula 1? Bob is missing. Acerbate's missing. But this is the first daytime stream I've done in quite a while. Oh no, here comes knight g6. I hate when they do that. Then they trade off my good knight on f4. Someone is asked about Mihai Suba yesterday. He likes this type of system with white. Troll's an interesting guy. Oh, Troll's but an interesting guy. They're both interesting guys. Yeah, Bob is pretty smart, but he's a troublemaker. What am we gonna do? What am we gonna do? A weird way of discouraging knight g6. Obviously I can play h5. Probably not a bad idea. Given that I don't really want to see knight g6. And I don't really want my knight in f4 exchanged off. I hate when they do that. They do like knight g6 and knight takes f4 and g takes f4. And then the king is sort of stuck on f1 and I have to walk back over here to d2 to get my king back to a safe place. So I'm trying to avoid that. Substitute Coke for gin. I got no alcohol. It's afternoon. I've got to drive. So not today. Yep. All right. Gin and Coke. There was a while when I used to drink gin and Coke. No, not gin and Coke. Rum and Coke. Karpov will always play to the end, yeah. I mean, no, he'll... But he doesn't really play. That's the weird thing about that Clash Kid. Karpov kind of retired. He just sort of does exhibitions and stuff. He'll never completely stop, but he stopped actively playing a long time. I guess, but I mean, not real ones. Fake tournaments. Karpov plays in fake tournaments. It's like fake news. Fake tournaments. Well, that's a good square. I almost have the old knight g6 type of thing going on, but I mean, I'd really need this diagonal. Or else to be able to double on the h-file. This is looking bad for black. But to be perfectly fair, it's a very, very difficult system to play for black. High maintenance. You gotta, maintain a lot of space. Extremely difficult job for black to play these type of lines. Alright, so we got some time left. Clash Kid's up next. Misclicked and Alms. I'd love to play the other guys, but who's not a subscriber is going to have to wait. Please wait. That's what they say when you get a buy at the tournament. Alright, Clash. Great, especially to play one of the players who can't make the evening streams. In the case of these guys, particularly Clash Kid and Alms, who generally just can't do the other streams. So I'm going to try to do this time on Mondays and Fridays. And we'll see about Wednesdays. But we're going to keep the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the evening. For sure. But I reserve the right to change schedule at any moment. Always dropping stuff. Sign of getting old. Alright. I'm dropping stuff, but not dropping pieces, hopefully. Just stuff. Clash Kid. What do you do? Like Bishop E2, Bishop G5? I had a warm-up game when we started the stream against some random player. DJ Khalid, I called him. And he played bishop g5. Here we go again. Tomorrow we're going to be playing a Blitz tournament, Blitz Arena in the evening USA time, so it's going to be late night. The classical dragon, but no knight b3. This is ultra boring. I think I had a game with an Italian IM. What was his name? Federico Manca. I just like played less than 20 moves and offered a draw or something. It's really hard for black to theoretically black can play d5, but that just sort of trades all the pieces. There are some people who try to, like Nefedov, likes the castle queen side with the bishop on e2, but I think you're basically playing a Yugoslav attack with your bishop on the wrong square. Pawn to Blitz Arena at 5:30 Eastern time. That's 11:30 European time. PM. In the PM. Roy Lopez. Father Roy Lopez. This position is 90% of your Blitz games. With which color? It's extremely boring for... I would say I would call it unambitious for white, but it is frustrating to play against. I've had this position a bunch of times. I don't know if Clash doesn't always play the same things. I don't know if we ever had this, but here it's possible to play e5, which I've probably had this exact game before. I think this should equalize. The same idea I had against Shamkovich, but he had a pawn on c4 and Imratzi. Typically, like, e5 is almost always bad in the dragon, but this is like one exception. I never thought of you as always wanting a draw, Clash Kid. There are other players in the stream who remain nameless, like me, who always want to draw, but I never thought of you that way. In fact, Clash Kid, notably, when you first started playing on my stream, maybe you were a little bit more ambitious back then, but you were playing more. When you first started playing, I really thought it was remarkable how complicated the games were every time we played. We had incredibly sharp types of games quite often. Speaking of Nefedov, I mentioned, who plays a system with white, I think I had a casual game with Nefedov pretty much like this. When he came to Budapest to visit me a couple months ago, almost the same exact position. I guess it ended in a draw. If black wants to win, though, I guess we'll have to take some sort of chances. Queen a5. White can play queen f2. That's actually quite a good square for the queen, so I think probably I should trade and just try to find a way to play for a win here with black, but objectively, this is really equal. Equal, but not equal. Petrosian would play rook d4, sacking the exchange. No. Well, rook d1 is a pretty good move. This looks kind of lame. I feel like I'm playing the black side of an exchange King's Indian. That's very similar in terms of white, just this type of structure, slightly different with the pawn like on c4 though. This is actually better for white. You don't have that big permanent weakness on d4. So now, for my next trick, I don't know what to do. b6. Trying for a dark square blockade. White has the queenside majority, so on that side he's technically stronger. I'm not sure if b6 is good, but I have to do something. That pawn's under attack. That's not a joke. This is super solid for white. This is not the way he always plays. I don't really credit his comment as playing that he always plays for a draw. Sometimes he plays some really interesting games. Okay, nobody else challenged me, guys, because we're at our maximum. I've got to go for some errands, business errands. So we've got about 45 minutes left. I think Misclicked and Oms, AP and Dimitrilas, I don't know if I'm going to get to play you guys. And Natalie Louise. Those who are not subscribers, I'm not guaranteeing. First we go to the subscribers. Rook d7, like what am I supposed to do? Extremely similar to my game with Nefedov. I'd like to play knight d7, knight f8, knight e6, knight d4, but it takes a lot of time. And in the interim, my opponent will play knight to d5. All right, let's just make a waiting move here. Might have to recycle. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a plan. That's a standard King's Indian Peart's plan. Absolutely Falkbeer. Make your bishop great again. We're big believers in making our bishops great again. It is a bad piece. There's two I have two ideas for like merch for the stream. If I ever get merch, one would be like MB, what would it be, like MBGA hats, and probably some kind of shirts, but I have to keep the shirt concept secret so no one steals it. I'm afraid to give out any of my ideas. Some other streamer might steal it. Make your bishops great again. Mabuga hats. Tricky. Alexander Wojciechowicz called me tricky fish. But I am a tricky fish. Here we win a pawn, but Clash Kid is going to have pretty good comps at the casino. But I really don't have a better idea. Maybe he's not going to have such good comp. He's going to have some comp. But he missed this. He was lazy and didn't calculate all the sidelines. You can't always assume they will take. We need more chess shirts. Yeah, I definitely have a chess shirt idea, which is good. You know, no one will like every idea, but I think it would be good. And then the make your bishops great again. Gotta act fast before it's too late. With the make your bishops great again. In a few years, hopefully, it will be passé. So bishop e2, knight takes d5, bishop c4, knight takes e3. That looks good. But he does have his whole idea, which basically to pin me and kill me on the d file. So knight takes d5, rook d1. And then I need a way to like protect my rook. But there is like no good way, essentially. So I might have to play my bailout variation, which is rook takes d5, bishop c4, rook f5. Which is kind of like, well, at least I'm up a pawn. He also has bishop takes h6 here, I just realized. At least I'm up a pawn? Maybe it's not that bad. Those bishops look mighty good, though. He did have bishop takes h6 as well. That's how solid his position is. He can make mistakes and still be okay. You know you have a solid game when you can basically make like the second or third best move constantly. Rook d7 instead of rook f5 was possible. Definitely. But now, I don't know. Thought we had something, but it's all just a flash in the pan. Bloby with a big donation of 500 bits. Come on, there's got to be something here. Let's go. We got to go with it. Anyway, this gives my knight a good square. Fortunately, the rook on f5, conveniently defending f7. There's also bishop f8. That actually might not be a bad move there at some point. In fact, like even now, bishop f8 is evil. Pure evil, unadulterated. What am I going to do though? Bishop f8, rook d8, king g7, bishop b2 check, f6. Like, that's horrible. Oh no, bishop f8, rook d8. And I'm just crying. Crying for my mommy. All right. Looks like we're running out of gas. Blindly go forward with nothing here. Like e3, just do it because it seems aggressive. Man. Bishop e5. Bishop e5, bishop e5, bishop e5. Man, f1 is covered by his damned bishop. There'll never be a back rank mate. Ain't never gonna be a back rank mate here. I'm gonna have to make a move soon. I can't believe it. I'm running out of ideas, guys. Please find some move for me. Hardfice and Noodle just donated $14.99 when I have 17 seconds left. I can't believe it. What does this do? Distracted me. Thank you for distracting me. 1,499 and a 500 donation from Blubby, so partying it up here with the bit donations. But only 17 seconds in an unconvincing position. Bishop check. Oh, he blundered. What? The Clash Kid blundered? He got distracted by my bit donations. It was like a cheapo. He resigned. Wow. So he has to play rook d8 first. And it's a mess, basically. I would think that he has very good compensation there. Thank you guys for the donations. Maybe white's even better if he plays this. Right? Rook d8 check. I don't know where I would have put my king. The engine says king g7. Then h3. And basically I had no plan here. Okay, I'm up a pawn. I guess that's good. But I was a little uncomfortable about my rook position. The loud protest in the street. The loud celebration here for the bit donations, guys, from Hardvice and Noodle, Bloby. Thank you guys so much. So let's get back to a couple more games. It's not your fault. It's the protesters in the street. I'm going to take this challenge from Misclicked. Alright. Alms on Twitch donated 23. It's take him up to the leaderboard. Alright, Misclicked, very solid customer. Looks like knight f3. We'll have a little fun. A little fun. b5. Okay, this is the best move for white, ironically. But most people who play knight f3 don't like playing e4. So I'll just transpose then to a St. George. A sort of St. George. Not really the soundest setup for black, but technically knight f3 isn't really the most aggressive move either. Well, it started out as a yeah, whatever, orangutan, Polish defense, but if you play a6, then technically it's a St. George. It's like I played a6 on the first move, which I like a little bit better than the bishop takes e4 type lines. It's not good for black, but it's fun, and most people get freaked out when they're white and they never play this, so they don't know what to do. strong players know what they're doing a little bit better. I mean, the pawn chain gets undermined by a4. That's the biggest problem in most variations. Fuchsia says it's Zuckertort. I never heard anyone refer to it as a Zuckertort. Interesting. But Fuchsia is an opening expert, an opening file. Filet. Yeah, it's mostly generally called the Polish. There's also the Polish opening, like 1b4. But the fact that I've played a6, I consider it to be a St. George. Now rook e1. Alright, well, here we go. Inspired by Karpov Miles. Oh, you mean knight f3 is Zuckertort? Yeah, there's no such thing, really. Zuckertort played this one amazing game against Blackburn, wasn't that it? One of his most famous games. It was a game where he was white against Blackburn. I had it memorized at one time, but then I kind of forgot it. Wow, c4. c4 looks like it probably just loses a pawn. But you never can be too careful. Never can be too careful. I mean, you could actually call this a pawn sacrifice. I'm not sure if he really intended on sacrificing it, but I think we're going to have to label it a sacrifice. Now he basically went off the map. I did not expect that at e5 now. I thought he's going to take. I take on e4. And he has some compensation for the sacrificed pawn. But this looks like really radical. I'm just going to take that. And my bishop's very strong. Maybe take with the pawn on f6. If I take with the pawn on f6, I open the g file. The only thing, the problem is that he's on my h7 pawn. That's kind of annoying. Ironically, like gf, queen d3, rook g8, queen h7. Though maybe that's just good for black. Probably that's still good for black. Right? Right, kids? Queen f6. It reminds me of a crazy Blumenfeld line. I could play c4. Alright, this is not sound for white. Queen f6, bishop g5, queen g6. Queen f6, queen d3. Alright, I don't know. I could take the other way. It's a tough decision. You got to make a decision. Yeah, Karpov Miles. That was a great game. I've won a lot of games with Black and Blitz. Incredible score with a6. Against title players and stuff too. They usually freak out, you know. They almost, and a lot of people get insulted when you play e4, a6. They can't get it out of their head that you're like handicapping yourself. So it's almost like they can't concentrate as well. But I did lose once. I've played it like 5 times in tournaments, and I did lose once against Josh Friedel. It was a tough game, though, even the game against Josh, where the one time when I finally lost with a6. I think all the other games were wins. Mostly I played against WGMs. The e4, a6. The psychological weapon. Especially effective against WGMs. I think that men kind of roll with the punches more, but women sort of take it as a, like you're insulting them by playing a6. Just a theory I've had, but it's worked well. Not to be like sexist about it, but it's been a very effective system. I haven't played it in a long time though. I became a little more serious. I don't play crazy openings like I once did, much more often. But let's see, Queen G6 here. Would you like to trade queens? I had a bad hallucination, goodness. This almost loses for black. Wow. That was a bad idea. All right, we've got just half an hour left, so I'm going to definitely play the game with alms, and we'll try to play one more game if I can beyond that. Misclicked. I slightly messed up this, but it's alright. It's alright, it's still probably good for black. But I had a stupid hallucination. Very, very dumb. Don't overthink here. You have two choices. Trade queens or don't. If you look up e4, a6 in the lichess, 4 games with MVL on the white side, and Jeffrey Zhang on the black side. So are they doubles? How many are doubles? Sounds like you've got doubles. But not necessarily. No, he has queen b3. I thought this was a good move. Stupidly, I thought I could play bishop d5 when I first evaluated the position, and he just takes on d5 and I can resign. You know, so that's the big problem. So after queen b3, I have to play bishop takes f3, and then he takes with the queen, and then I play knight c6. And black is better, black is up material. But that was a very silly thing to think, you know, that I could I could play bishop d5. Really not very well thought out, you know. Zhang lost twice. Well, Zhang won twice, lost once, and one draw. I would imagine, Fuchsia, that those games must be of a very fast time control. Very likely some kind of evil chess site where they play some silly game 15 chess league or something like that. But I mean, one can never knows, as my friend Benamiki says. One can never knows. Maybe it was a real time control. Here we go again. Bishop somewhere. Speed tournament. Yeah, I mean, e4, a6 is like the best opening in the world for 1 minute chess, probably. Anything where your opponent doesn't know the theory is devastating. But Misclicked is doing a good job of just keeping his composure here. I mean, he's clearly worse, on the verge of losing, but he's still kind of hanging on and isn't quite completely lost. And I think that I probably missed like some clearly winning moves. But I'm trying to keep it real. Even here, I'm tempted to play c4, but it also feels like a mistake. So what the heck am I supposed to do? I don't know. I want to develop my pieces. This is such a tough position to decide what to play. Play like the lamest move ever. Bishop e7. I know that I had a million opportunities here, and I think I simplified a little bit too much. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm only up a pawn. Zhu Chao. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. Yesterday was not bad for you, as I worry that you may have thought I used an engine. I don't know, Zhu Chao. Lord Jesus. Oh, you're Lord Jesus. No, I didn't think you used an engine. That was someone else. Misclicked hanging in there. The birdies are chirping outside. No, there was another player who played ridiculously fast and like every single move, like in 3 seconds. I mean, that was the player that we were referring to. You were just playing a tough game, as always. So I wanted to bring, this is a great move by Misclick. He's really hanging on in a difficult situation, as I said earlier. Rook b8. Man, I mean, Rook b8, even Rook b3 is a move. I guess I should go to the open file. Then Rook b3. It's going to get weird before it gets normal. Black is better. Oh man, I didn't count on that either. Now I'm going to have to castle, which I didn't really want to do. Maybe I should just trade. I'm a trader. What a great move. These birds are driving me nuts. Takes, pawn takes, king d7. Rook b1, king c7. It's like probably my best line. No substitute for calculation, kids. He's got a defense to that too. That's convenient. Wow, this is going to be irritating. He missed Rook b6 after all that. Ooh, that Rook b6 was... that was a cruncher. Very good practical play. Tough endgame. G5, knight d1, f5, knight f2. It's going to take a lot of work to win this. I can stop that though. I can play bishop g3. I'll have to walk around the queen side. He's doing a great job staying in this. Really tough defense by white. Because at some point I can play. Nah, e5 is not going to work. This reminds me a little bit of the game I couldn't win yesterday. Now bishop f2. His knight's like boxed out. We walk up here. Now that's just lost, I believe. Well, that was a long game. That was tough. You hung in there well. Maybe the paradise doesn't exist. I never cheated in my life. I told this story when I was 1500 once. I kind of wandered into the bookstall room while I was playing one of my games, and I didn't know it was against the rules. So I was sort of perusing some of the opening books while I was playing my game, one of my first tournaments. And my friend was like, "You can't do that. You're not allowed to look at the books while you play." Oh, okay. All right, let's go. Alms is up next. But I don't understand like people who cheat. I mean, I couldn't. I guess I could understand it if it was concretely for some money or something. That I could kind of understand. I wouldn't do it, but unless I was like dying. What I don't understand is like, what's the fun in playing a game where you cheat, you know? Alright, Alms is up. I used to cheat at Monopoly when I was a little kid. When my mom wasn't looking, I would steal the money and like stuff like that. I was definitely cheating in Monopoly. Not a lot though, but there was a period. I used to troll people by saying I was a professional Monopoly player. It's another old joke. Sometimes you'd be surprised how naive people are. They actually believe. They would believe that that's a thing. Probably there is. I don't think so. Where's Alms? Wow, C5. Pro Solitaire. C5, C4. In your face. I played it first. Now the key moment here. Do we take with a knight? That's actually a line that I think even Petrosian played with white. Knight takes e5, knight c2. It's kind of a famous line. Your modern developer site, people have a rating there. It's insane how many people are cheating with sock puppet accounts. I think it's genetic because my son cheats in Monopoly too. Cheating is just in your blood or it's not, right? Alright, let's play this. I never play this. I remember going over some Petrosian game where he played this line with white. And I have English books. English opening books. I never really liked it. It always felt like too passive for white. But we'll see. We'll do it for fun. I think that knight b3 might be a move too. Basically, you're black with an extra move here. I was talking in the beginning of the stream how I posted my first eBay item for sale. That's my new job. And selling random stuff on eBay. And I was thinking that people I don't have any like, you know, so I don't have any credits for being a good seller, any seller history. So I figure a lot of people probably cheat with the seller history. They have their friends like, you know, buy stuff from them and give them a good review or whatever, like before they even really get started. It must all be rigged. I wish you would play d4. That looks like it would be more fun. Now what am I supposed to do? It's a serious case. Wait, I can play like bishop g5? Uh-oh, we got another message. This must be frustrated robocaller. Today is Julian Estrada's birthday. Shout out to my friend Julian, Mexican international master. Today is his birthday. Knight c6. What do I do? Bishop g5. Alright, whatever. I don't know. I'm just making this up now. But what is this? They give out the free items in the large green disposable bins behind the Salvation Army. I don't want items. I'm trying to get rid of items. You have the completely wrong idea. Alms is Losing his concentration. I think I talked too much. No, a different Julian. Julian Estrada. He's a Mexican chess player who spent a lot of time in Hungary with me. The more you have, the more you can get rid of. That's true. I knew this guy who wasn't really a friend of mine, but I knew this guy who used to basically, yeah, pick up a lot of free books that people donated to like churches and stuff, and then resell them on eBay. All right, so we got time for one last game. Liburnia is too late. One of these guys, I guess AP was here first. We'll take his challenge. Dimitri Last will have to wait till next time, guys. This is the last game for today. What? Frost shopping? What's frost shopping? You got 2 laundry baskets filled with books on Thursday. I just want to get rid of the... Yeah, the texts are the best ones. No, that's true. That's what this guy did. It was a friend of mine. That's what he would specialize in. Discarded textbooks. Exactly. But I don't have time to pick up new items. I just need to get rid of the items I have. I have to like clear out that whole house and somehow try to sell it before it breaks me. So it's a race against time. Who will win, me or the house? Houses are generally... What happened here? He tricked me? What do we have here? A transposition to a... How did you do that? You tricked me. After d6, I should play c3. That's a pawn sacrifice. That's a no 9. So it's like I screwed up. I allowed him to win my bishop. But d4 will transpose to... Right, now I'm trying to think. I actually have had games with... But that's a different position. The knight's on f6. In the Norwegian variation, black does this without even playing knight f6. And I've actually tried that. Uber Driver's here. So anybody wants to buy a Napster hat, I put my Napster hat on sale. Original Napster hat. That's my first eBay item for sale. Probably very underpriced. I might have to change the pricing. No chess related items yet. We'll see what happens. d4, pawn takes pawn. Then what do? I have some sort of tricks with like bishop d5. That doesn't work. I'm worried about the Noah's Ark trap. d4 takes, knight takes, c5. But I guess the Noah's Ark trap doesn't exactly work here. c3 instead of rook e1. Yeah, but his pawn's not on b5 yet. So the problem is c3, knight takes e4. No b5. And this is theory. And it's in the old Jacques Verlag Lepez book I have. I don't remember who wrote that. Bishop g4 looks a little strange. Probably not that good. Actually, doesn't he have a problem here? Bishop takes c6 on d6. Yeah, I mean, isn't that like the Rubinstein system or something? Now black is just slightly worse. bg5. The BGs. How big is my advantage now? Yeah, knight e4 is risky, Falkbeer, and I think that's the theory. That white plays c3, and on knight e4, it's just good for white. I can't remember specific variations. I guess d4. And there are lines, but they're all considered very bad for black, more or less. That's about as much as I know. Fisher-Addison? Oh, okay, no, but I mean, that's the Norwegian variation. That was actually popularized by Sverre Johannessen, the Norwegian IM, who was like a long time like board one. I'm surprised he didn't have a game of Fischer in that line. In fact, he very well might have. They probably played in the Olympiad or something. Although Norway didn't have a strong team, I have a vague recollection that that might actually have transpired. He was actually there when I played Magnus Carlsen. He was the only person who kind of like talked to me after the game and was like, hey, you know, you did, that was a good game, you put up a good fight. Most of the people were like all rooting for Magnus Carlsen, but I felt like Johannessen, he died subsequently, but I felt like he was kind of rooting for me somehow, a little bit. He took the time to talk to me after the game. We had a really close rapid game against Carlsen back in 2006. It was queen and 7 against queen and 7. And never prior or after have I had a 14 pawn queen endgame. But Magnus was just too fast, but literally it was a 7-round rapid tournament. It was the only game where he was in any danger of not winning. So I was proud of that, but I just remember Johannessen being there, and he was nice. What did I do? But he's the one why they call it the Norwegian variation. I have some neat ideas here that don't work. Well, let's start with this. Usually AP likes to play very attacking, crazy chess with sacrifices. But here we've got him tied down in a totally positional bind. Guys, this is going to be the last game today. Dimitrilas, sorry I didn't get to that one. I've got to go do some business. Mr. Magnus, yeah, Mr. Magnus was a little bit too fast for me. We had a position that I probably could have held, but this is mate. It's not mate, but it's almost mate. It does win a rook, though. We'll take it. Magnus was too fast, and he was too good. But a computer would have drawn. A computer would have drawn my position, but it was too difficult, practically speaking. Alright, guys. It's time for the Blitz tournament tomorrow night, 5:30. It's 5:30 Eastern Time. Panda Blitz Arena here on lichess. 5:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. So just a fun, casual Blitz Arena. Join me for that. Thanks today, guys, for Hart, Weiss, and Nudel, Bloby, Oms on Twitch, and Jim for your kind and considerable donations to the stream. For last week as well. And for everybody for subscribing and keeping the stream going while I, struggle through working 2 jobs at eBay. So, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody. On behalf of myself and our substitute Scrub Panda, Mr. Macro Panda. We'll see you guys later. He's the big Lebowski of pandas. But anyway, see you later, dudes. Take care. Tomorrow night, 5:30. Bye-bye.